Hey, I'm Greg McIntyre with the Elder Law Report, and I'm here with, what's your name?
You've forgotten me already.
Hayden. Hayden
Yes.
Soloway.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
How you doing? I mean, I hadn't seen you in a long time.
Oh, you just seen my.
We have. We've seen each other,
Yeah.
and you worked with us on the American Legion World Series.
Did.
I've had a lot of people. I've had a lot of people ask about you.
Did have you?
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes. I think.
Well, tell them I'm
I
still
think our
around.
clients miss you, and I've had
good.
people come in. Hey, is Hayden still with you
Yes.
guys? And
I
I'm
still
from
am.
time to time, yes. And I'm very glad that you could come in and do the Elder Law Report with us today. And I thought you would be perfect,
Well,
which is why
this is my
those who don't
subject.
know me, well, those who know me would understand this. But I was running a little bit ago, and I said, you know what, this show would go great with Hayden because it's right up her alley. So I called her.
Not the running.
No, and she came over just to do the show because the show today is on back to school blues. Back to school blues. I've got them bad too.
Yeah, I know.
We just sent the kids. I'm gonna flash some pics of my kids up there. Maybe edit those in, but I just sent. The kids to school today, and I sent my oldest son to college 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Dropped him off at UNC Chapel Hill Honors College up there. Very proud of him. But also, it's like, yeah, that's my buddy. It's my basketball buddy. We worked out some. You know, he's probably needs to go off to college and grow up a little bit and become more independent. And maybe I'll get my buddy back later. Now Tucker's my little buddy. You know.
He's
And
always been your little buddy.
my 14-year-old, but we dropped him off this morning. I dropped him off at high school.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
in the
that's-
9th grade.
yeah.
He started high school. I can't believe I'm old enough to have a kid in college and a kid in high school. And then my other 3 out of 4 of my girls, 2 are in elementary school and 1 is in intermediate, which is like 6th grade, you know? So
But she looks like a teenager.
she does.
Yeah.
She does. She's
growing
tall.
up.
She's a tall 11-year-old, barely 11. So, and you have Briley, right? How many do you have in college
I
now?
have 2.
2 in college, 2 grandkids in college.
2 grandkids.
Yeah.
So, and you
I
would
hate to
think.
emphasize
No,
that.
that's okay.
You have 2.
I'm happy to
Sorry,
be a
okay.
grandmother. I wish I'd had them first.
Right.
They
I don't have any grandkids yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking forward yet to
not
grand.
yet.
I don't have any yet. Okay, one of these days I want them, but not yet.
Well, Blake, he went to the Army from high school
Right.
and became an Army Ranger, and he was in the Army for I
Woo.
think 3 years,
Yeah.
and then is in college on the GI Bill,
Mhm.
and doing fine, and it's paying. I think even extra money plus what he's making at ECU, what he's having to pay for ECU.
Right.
It's extra money. And he and his fiance are there. She's already graduated, and she's working on her master's. So him moving from the Army, I didn't get to go see him off of the Army. I went to see him graduate from his basic training,
Right.
and then from Ranger School. But
That's
then
a big deal, Ranger School.
it's awesome. That's where the SEALs train too.
Yeah.
They don't do underwater there, but they do the same.
Where, Alabama?
No, it was Savannah. That's where Blake was.
Okay.
And but we got to go see him graduate from down there. But he kind of transitioned from there to college, so it was just like him being away. And the only difference was we didn't have to send him care packages. We could just send him money. We used to have to package up things and send them over there, things that they couldn't get. It was really just kind of love from home.
Yeah.
But with
My grandmother
Briley,
used to send me care packages when I was on the boat.
when Briley left, that was hard. I played it right though, because we had her going away party the Sunday before she left, and then I left for the beach with my girlfriends.
Right.
So I didn't. I mean, I cried all day Sunday, but it would have been worse if I
I feel like
had
crying
gone
right
to-
now. I mean, I think we've
I
got
know, and I'm going to.
we've got probably a lot of listeners out there and watchers out there, right?
Yeah.
Viewers and listeners out there that whose kids just went off to college or just went off to school or grandkids just went off to school.
Or those who
started
are
school again.
sympathetic and understand because they've already had kids
Yeah.
go off to
And
college.
I mean, just time flies. I guess then that's the reason I wanted to do the school and back to school blues. Is time flies. I wish you could. What is that song? Wish I could put time in a bottle or something like that.
Yes.
You know, or just stop. You stop it. It's there never seems to be enough time. There never seems to be enough time.
It's like time in a bottle.
To do the things you want to do when you.
I have met many pictures on display in my house because the children came, they were babies, they were toddlers, they were like little first graders, and they were different kids all along, and I didn't want to give up any of them.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to keep each one, each phase of their.
You loved them in each phase of their life.
Yes. So I have a lot of pictures in my house.
Yeah.
So.
But it does keep moving on and keep moving forward, and I hope that, you know, Jordan comes back, and not comes back, you know, just is thankful for, I guess, what we provided for him, you hope, I guess, and is a good person and a good young man.
Well, you made exceptional arrangements for Jordan because he got a scholarship but it wasn't to the university wonderful university, but not the one that he had chosen and
he chosen the one that he did get the scholarship to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
But he's a summa cum laude graduate and valedictorian.
He was valedictorian from his high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he was top guy.
Yeah.
Top person in his high school.
Yeah. That whatever school got him was lucky.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant kid.
Yeah, you know, but we miss him.
Yeah.
So, and all the rest of the kids going on, and it just seems like I'm getting older too, and I keep getting older,
which is a good thing.
And I guess I stay busy most of the time and try not to think about it.
Yeah.
But I do realize my mortality and that I'm getting older. And
I don't think much about mortality.
it's not that my body doesn't function like it used to or anything else, because I try to stay in decent shape and I feel okay.
I see you running every day with the Nike Run Club.
Yeah.
3.23 miles or 3.17.
But still, the time keeps going by, you know, and it's like, wow.
There are things that remind us that we're
class of
getting
2031 or something. I know, I have a kid who's like class of 2031 or something.
Yeah, that's at number 6.
I think so. I think it's my last one. That's crazy. That's crazy. That seems like the future, man. Way into the future, you know. It just flies, and I don't think there's any way to slow it down. I don't know. Some days go faster than others, but you know what we do is estate planning and elder law. You know, that's what we do and have done for years. So how do you? I mean, you know, I know you had talked about tying in college debt with what we were talking about today.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my son is a sergeant with the sheriff's department, so he's got job security, job security.
Well, Bob security.
Bob, yeah, maybe he has a Bob. And he's good at what he does. He's a great guy. And my daughter, and she's a hairstylist, and her husband is retired Army, and he is now. He was when he retired, and he's young. I mean, he's not 50. But he was flying oil workers from their hotels on the mainland to the oil rigs and back. But now he's got a job, and he is writing a manual on how to fly this brand new state-of-the-art helicopter. So he's down there doing that, and he comes home for sometimes a weekend. He comes home every weekend, or he comes home for a week or two, depending on what their schedule is. But I mean, there's job security there, you know, and he gets a disability pension too because of injuries he sustained, and so I feel like they're very comfortable. But when you've got a son like Jordan and a granddaughter like Briley, they're both very intelligent, and they're looking probably at graduate school.
I remember thinking about, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for this? No matter how much you save, sometimes it's not enough. And I've tried to save. I've got a decent job, you know, and it's just sometimes it's not enough. You think about that grad school and everything else, and I mean, I was, you know, got to come out of pocket for a lot of it. And we did. We're blessed. We did okay. You know, we're good this semester. But then you talk about med school and everything else.
That's what Brian may end up doing.
Yeah.
Is Jordan thinking about med school?
Yeah.
Is he really?
That's what he's saying now. He's saying he's going to do pre-med.
Yeah.
We'll see if he ends up in law school. We'll see how that works out for him.
Well, Bradley's
Or if he goes
considering
to a medical doctor, right?
becoming a nurse practitioner,
Right.
or going on to med school. She'll make that decision later on. She doesn't have
Right.
to make it now. And fortunately, she got a good bit of scholarship money. But it certainly isn't going to be enough when you consider all the expenses related to 6 or 8 years of school.
So
my main
So what are your thoughts?
goal, my main goal is to make sure, or as closely as I can, ensure that my grandchildren, I've got one that's 14, a freshman in high school too, so he's going to go into some kind of technology, I have no doubt. And so I just want to make sure that they are not faced with crushing debt. We don't know what the economy's going to do, and to have student loans of thousands and thousands, $100,000,
Sure.
that's not unheard of. To try to start off life like that, I can't imagine. Can
Yeah,
you imagine
I mean,
having kids and trying to
I can imagine
afford the
having that
kids and
debt,
that kind of debt?
but I don't want
Like,
my children to be in that debt.
So that's my main thing, is making sure that if something happens to me, what I have ensures their as much of their school as possible.
Sure.
And well, I still want to leave some to my son too, but he neither of my kids need it. But the thing is, it's hard to fund $200,000.
Yes, it is. But you can help. How are some ways that you can help with that?
Well,
See,
first
people
of
don't-
all,
some
make
people
sure
may
you don't
think-
lose what you have.
Yeah. So first of all, secure what you got, right?
My house is paid for.
Okay. So
So
your house
that's
is
a
paid
good
for.
little chunk there.
Good.
And I have some inherited property that I own half of.
Right.
And some money that Dad left, and I'm kind of funneling that
How are you going to hold on
toward-
to it though?
Well, I'm going to first of all try not to
I know
spend
that
it.
70%
If something
of.
happens,
I hope you never need any long-term care. I hope you never do.
there's a
However,
70% chance.
70% of people over 65 right now are going to need some type of long-term care. 70%, and those are big odds. Those are big
Well-
odds, and so what that can do is force the sale of some of those other properties, and then if you still own your home when you pass away, then that's going to go through probate, and that's where a Medicaid lien is going to attach if you had to access Medicaid to pay for it. And
Well, a lot of people don't
I mean,
realize.
how can you protect all those properties? I mean, do you think those properties passed on could help Briley pay for education or pay off student debt
Yes.
or things like that? You
Yes.
know?
Well, I have a ladybird deed.
Yeah.
On the
So the
house that you
ladybird
did
deed
for
on the
me.
house.
And
What does that mean though?
Well, most
In North
I
Carolina.
don't know about most people. I'm going to just use the term most because nobody that I know was aware that your Social Security and your supplemental.
We kind of matched that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I can take that check. They don't realize that your supplemental and your Medicare won't cover long-term care. So when you start asking, well, what does? Well, it comes right out of your pocket and your savings account and your 401k and all of the monies and things that you have. And then your home. A lien can go on your home. And if you happen to have dementia or Alzheimer's and have to be in a special unit that requires a lot of care, it could be $100,000 a year. That can deplete a nice, an inheritance. It can just drain it dry. So having learned that from you, which is why I came out of retirement to work to begin with, and why I still try to help you every opportunity I can, is mainly just to educate people, because I think that will create action, because who wants to lose everything they've worked for? I've worked since I was 16 years, 17 years old, and I've worked all of my life, and I took 6 weeks off when I had my babies. They didn't have family care and stuff like that then, and every bit of that is, I don't feel like I should lose that, because I did work so hard for it, and that's my main thing. Right
So
now.
the ladybird deed avoids probate, passes it directly to whomever you place on there to get it, and you still maintain control of it during your life. And it's not the look back period for Medicaid, 5 years for nursing home Medicaid, 3 years for assisted living, don't count.
It's like it doesn't
automatically
exist other than, of course, Medicare, the Medicare representatives know you have it.
Medicaid.
Medicaid, excuse me. But they also understand that protects it.
Sure.
They can't consider that an asset. So
Right.
that takes care of that.
So it can never be taken from
Right.
you. That's the point.
That's right.
Is that it protects it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that on your home.
And I didn't realize how
We did it for you.
Yes, you
It's
did.
awesome.
Well,
Yes.
I've mentioned that, and I've mentioned that to
Yeah.
many people. Go ahead.
We did a jingle. Did you hear I made a jingle?
I did.
I created a jingle.
I did.
Please don't wait till it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that in to what we're doing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm gonna edit it in, and that applies.
Yeah.
Because it's please don't wait till it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law.
Life is busy, we all know. We put off planning till things get slow. Tomorrow's never promised today. Don't get too busy and let it all slip away. Please don't wait till it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law. Please don't wait till it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law.
So you want to get those things done ahead of time. The ladybird deed on the home could be a good thing for you, and not just for you, it's your family. People ask me, or I ask people, what's elder law? And it's law for the elderly. Yes and no. It's law for your whole family.
Well, it doesn't have to be elderly. I'm older. I'm actually a senior, but I still, because I stay active and because I have friends who stay active, we don't perceive us as being elderly, but our lifespan is only going to be what it is, and so many things can happen. So it's not just for elderly. There are people 42 years old that we have helped. We put ladybirds in their homes because early onset Alzheimer's and things like that, and unexpected incapacitating illnesses and things like that, and injuries. You just don't know. You can't assume that you're going to live to be 75 or 85 years old and just die. You've
Right.
got to know that there are circumstances that can make you lose everything. And
Sure.
I'm going to throw in a plug here for probate. Do not underestimate how difficult probate can be. Just with my father having 3 properties and 2 vehicles and 2 IRAs and a 401k and having to change, it's crazy, change insurance on everything. And I can't work right now. I'm too busy.
Right, because
So that's
that's one
something.
thing you're doing too, and one reason you haven't been with us much lately is you've been handling everything from your father's estate.
Mm-hmm. My sister
Yeah.
is a single senior. Her
Right.
children are grown, and so she works and has to
So
work every
it's
day.
kind of taking up all your time.
Mhm.
So to
And
set that
I'm
up
just grateful I
to
can do
pass
it.
outside of the estate automatically
Mhm.
saves you a lot of time and money and effort. There's no doubt about it. And other things to do, foundational planning. I think those are things you want to do ahead of time. You want to set up the general durable power of attorney, have a primary and secondary agent that can act for you to handle your hard-earned money and property. And that's extremely important. I call that the most important document you can have while you're alive. Because even if you haven't done some of the other planning, it allows someone else in an emergency situation to come in and do it for you,
We've had
which is extremely important.
one case in particular was a friend of mine, not close friends, but I've known him for a long time, and his wife had already exceeded her ability to mentally make decisions.
She was
on her own.
incapacitated,
And-
incompetent.
Yes,
Yeah.
she had already been
She's
declared incompetent. So he was unable, because he did not have a power of attorney, general durable power of attorney for her. He was unable to make the decisions to protect the assets that he could have had he had that one document.
And she needed long-term
Yes.
care. Yeah.
Oh, she was already in long-term
Yeah.
care.
So those are tough situations. Those are tough situations that do make you want to cry because you can't do anything about it. And then healthcare power of attorney, living will, and will. Those things are all important. General durable power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, living will, and will. Get your foundational documents in place. Set up trust if you need to. Not everybody needs them, but we do. Then we'd be glad to talk about that.
And sometimes they're wonderful. We have
It just
clients that
depends.
have a lot of properties and
Yeah.
a lot of things like that, and they want them managed to a certain degree. And I had one of my neighbors ask me, actually it was this morning as I was coming out, asked me if I knew anything about trust. And I said, well, I've learned a little bit, having worked for Greg. He knows, everybody knows I work for you. And so he was concerned because he wanted he's got lots of rental property.
Right.
And he wanted to make sure that that rental property was paid this person this much and this person this much. He wanted to see that his children and his grandchildren were taken care of, and that, you know, if he didn't give it to the kids and they didn't give it to the grandkids, he wasn't going to be happy about that. So he may be calling, and you know, I suggested that he just sit down and have a conversation with you, because you can look at the whole of their assets and the various stages of life they're in and their health, and just kind of make a plan for them that they can, you know, kind of pick and choose what they want to do. And it's so simple. And Greg, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and you'll enjoy talking to him, and he makes it easy for you. He doesn't over talk you.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
that's a good thing to do.
Well, you know, hey, I think on a lighter note, I think we're gonna do a music video for the jingle.
For a jingle.
Yeah. Do you want to come in and do it with me? Yeah. I think you remember Brian White from Media Zoos, that filmed the commercials that we did.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna come in and do a music video with us.
Okay.
You want to do it? It's just a 30-second jingle. We'll just do a 30-second.
Yeah,
You're coming.
I'm
You're
not
gonna
a
be
great
in it.
singer, but I don't sing too badly.
We're gonna do it. You're gonna help us, okay?
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to come out with that, okay?
And I wish you could come up with one that could convey that your Medicare and your supplemental insurance are
Does
not
not
gonna
cover nursing home care.
Yeah, we need a jingle for that too. That's the biggest thing that I learned. That I was shocked. I mean, I have never, nothing has ever hit me so hard, because I thought I had
Think you
everything
can rely on
taken care of.
Medicare? Let me tell you something that'll make you pull out your hair.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait.
Think it's gonna pay for nursing home care?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, we're doing the jingle.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were getting ready to tell us something. Yeah, make
You'll
pull
turn
out your
around and
hair.
it won't be there.
That's right. That's right. Because as soon as
Please
you're
don't
declared-
wait till it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I have to think about it, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I got
And we
bored.
welcome suggestions.
I got bored one Sunday afternoon. No, I wasn't bored. I just wanted to write a jingle.
Yeah.
So I sat down at the kitchen table and I wrote a jingle. It took me about 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
the kids took part and they were laughing and cutting out, messing with me.
Well, these people are friends on social media. Might
Yeah.
have some ideas, some cute.
They might. I hope you like the jingle. And I'm gonna put up the 30-second version. Tucker, my oldest son, my 14-year-old, has been working on photos and videos to go along with the jingle and the words underneath.
Okay.
So I'm gonna edit that out. That's what I'm using. I will have. If you're watching it now, you will have already seen it previous in the video. But Tucker, my son, my 14-year-old, did that video, and he's done some other funny versions too.
We ought to have a contest. Whoever does the best version of it, singing back,
Yes.
will win a prize, a book or something. That might be
Awesome.
fun.
Awesome. I mean, it's a catchy jingle. So, you know, I think to beat the back to school blues, you do exactly what we're doing. You keep going. You know, hey, it's not the toughest thing that's happened in our lives. A lot of people have had a lot worse blows. It's just part of it. And I wish we could slow down, but you can't. And I do implore you, don't wait until it's too late. You're home. You know, what you may have hundreds of thousands, you may have millions. You may just have a home, but I guarantee you it can help benefit your family. It can help benefit your family. So please don't wait until it's too late. Call McIntyre Elder Law.
And for the few who do have children who are already taken care of, maybe they're in their 80s or 90s or whatever, who does need it? Does your church need it? Does a local charity need it?
You think
So-
a church could sell a house and benefit from
Oh,
the proceeds?
absolutely.
You bet.
And the children's homes, there's just so many things that
Great
you can
causes
do.
to put it towards. If you don't have grandkids or they don't need you to help.
Well, we've had clients that left property
To charities and to churches.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
If I had a whole lot, I'd leave money to make a splash pad in Shelby for the kids.
A
The
splash
water
pad.
Squirt some
We
out
could make
there.
one at on our
Parking lot.
parking lot out
Yeah.
there. Just a splash
We
pad.
should turn this around and show people our view. We've got a busy street out, and a beautiful church across the street.
Sure.
Yeah, we could put a splash pad out there.
Put a splash pad out there. Okay. Thank you for being with us. Every week we try to bring you interesting content relating to our lives and to yours. Everything that I come and bring you a lot of it, how about that, is directly relatable from what happens in my life at home and on a regular basis, because that's what I know and that's what I can get behind and that's what I can talk to you about that makes sense to me. Because I imagine there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with or have dealt with the same things that I'm dealing with.
You were
as I grow up.
motivated to go into this particular area of law because of things that you saw in your own family.
Sure.
And in others.
And
I
times
respect
in
that so
lives
much.
just repeat themselves a lot of times. And, you know, people go through some of the same things. And so if any way, if there's, you know, if anything story I can tell or you can tell can help someone, or we can help save money and property for somebody, or send a kid to school. I mean, I'd rather have back to school blues than have blues because I couldn't send my kids back to school.
And
You know, does that make sense?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I couldn't pay to send the kids to school.
That would be devastating.
That would be devastating. Somebody
child
like
with so
Jordan
much potential
that's so
like
smart
Jordan.
and so much potential, or Briley, and them not be able to go to a good university that can push them and help develop them.
Or a trade. I feel like Brinson probably is going to
Yeah.
be involved in
Oh,
technology.
I mean, it's
somehow,
not all about
and-
college,
No.
but just to be able to help them out, you know, not spoil them and give them a leg up. Thank you, Hayden,
Well, I'll
for being
spoil
here.
him if I can keep him from having that Christian dad.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. Hey, so one of these days we'll solve all the world's problems. Okay,
One by one.
one by one.
One social media broadcast.
One
after another.
social media, one elder law report at a time. Okay, tune in next week every Friday 10 a.m. on Facebook Live, although this one's edited, and on our podcast. I want to put something out there, and I'm going to edit this part out and put it out at the beginning too, so you'll have already heard this, okay? We have, I want to say it's Gainesville, North Carolina?
Gainesville.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay. So I wanted to give a shout out to them.
Okay.
They are bringing me down, and I'm not charging them anything. At this point, I don't charge for my speaking services for the most part, okay? We talked about it. They called and wanted to know how much I was charging at the time. And I told them, look, I'm flattered. We'll come down and we'll do it for you. They have a group of seniors that meet on a regular basis, as I understand it, at a senior center. And they get together and they listen to our podcast.
Really?
We have over
hi, guys.
We have between 42 and 43,000 listens right now on our podcast for the Elder Law Report.
I should have dressed for the occasion.
I thank you so much. Well, luckily, Hayden, they can't see you on a podcast.
They can't see my flip-flops.
No, they can't see you on a podcast. It's just to
We
listen
just
to the
ducked him.
podcast.
He's already done
But
his
they've
workout,
also
so.
apparently started watching some of our videos, things like that, and they, you know, so they do that weekly, and they would have, you know, we're inquiring if they could have the elder law guy come down there and give a seminar, and I said
Super.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody who needs me to come in and give a seminar right now, we're running a special, free. I don't know that it'll always be that way, but right now, call us, talk to Taylor. She's great at scheduling these. 704-259-7040, okay? And thank you all for listening out there. And I believe that if there's one group out there listening, and I've got 42,000 plus if you see the thousands and tens of thousands of views on our videos, then you'll know that I believe that there's a lot more groups that are out there listening also. I will go anywhere, anytime to meet with
groups,
you and to
civic
talk
clubs,
to your group.
We've done book clubs.
It's something I've
Rotary clubs.
devoted my life to, is this practice in this area of law. And I'm just super consumed and serious about it. So
We have a book too that Greg worked. This was your first one? Did you?
that was Saving the Farm.
Saving the Farm, and it
Yes.
talks about the things that we've been talking about. And
About-
it's a
about
good start.
Back to
learn
school
about these
blues.
things.
Yeah, well, it talks about saving the farm, saving your hard-earned money and property, and it's $20 on Amazon, or you can go to our website mcelderlaw.com/savingthefarm, and you can buy that. If you call our office, I'd be glad to send you a copy autographed. Okay?
Now that'll show on the screen, won't it?
What?
The number and the address.
Yes, we will put that on the screen as well. There's a lot of cool checklists in here for veterans benefits.
You let me do an edit, remember?
And for, yes, oh, I do, yes, you do. You're a very good editor. You helped a ton.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you'd like to read a little bit more about the concepts we've been talking about today, go to Amazon or call our office or our website and order Saving the Farm.
And isn't it somewhere other than Amazon too?
Well, we have different versions. So
Yeah, the
iTunes,
that's what I meant.
audiobook, it's on Audible, iTunes, the audiobook is great audiobook. Narrated by Curtis Rosser. Voice sounds like butter, right?
Butter.
Very butter, yeah. And we have the ebook, an enhanced ebook, which has audio and video of the interviews that we conducted for each chapter of the book from experts from around the country, like Teepa Snow and others. So, Saving the Farm, mcldraw.com/Saving the Farm, or on any other medium, search it, you can find it. And thank you for coming by. It's been a good show.
Missed it.
Yeah, I missed you too. I missed it, yeah. And let's do some more, okay? All right? And
I'll send Sonia my schedule, so.
yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
trying to get things fixed, the houses taken care of, and.
You know what I'm
going
going to do
New
right
York
now?
Next week.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to see if I can grab some dinner with my family.
Good.
La Familia, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to talk to them about their day at school.
Yeah.
See you next
Sounds
week.
good. Thanks.